I made a set of parallel bars as a physical therapy tool for a young woman I know, and she's relearning how to walk. And it was a really simple project. You know, these things are quite expensive, to be totally honest with you, when you order them. And a lot of times it's a minor, short-term kind of deal. So I see no reason why anyone can't make their own. Hey, you don't have to make it the same way I did, but I'll show you what I did, and you can copy the bits and pieces into what you like. Started out with measurements from the physical therapist. Her bars needed to be 25 wide and 29 high. So using that, I created a set of rails. And these are just 4 pieces of wood glued together. And I cove cut them on the table saw, so that wouldn't be necessary. And the reason I glued the pieces together, and if you were just using, say, Home Depot pine, you could do this as well. 2 pieces of Home Depot pine and a little filler strip in between, is because that then gave me a groove that I could insert my legs and my braces into, which gave me a really nice strong joint right there. Then just rabbited into a 2x4. Now I beveled this edge so that it'll help, if her feet hit it, help keep the feet funneled into the middle. That's what I was told she needed, was not walls per se, but something to keep it down into the inside. This I just cut with a handsaw. So I made a cut on one side and a cut on one side, and then a half dozen cuts in the middle. Broke it out with a chisel. Same deal with this. I don't actually think it needed them, but the thing about these bars is, if she stumbles, right, there could be a lot of weight, a lot of pulling yourself up, that sort of thing. So I put some bracing in there. Now it's screwed to a sheet of 5/8 plywood that we had kicking around. A high quality 3/4 would have been better, but this seems to work just fine. And I've gone down about every 12 inches, 8 inches or so, and I've put in 2 screws, and I sort of angle them in. I mean, they're tipped, right? Angling in from both sides. And what I'm trying to do is hold this board from rocking side to side. And to be honest, it's really quite strong. Really, really is quite strong. These are probably my weak spots right here, and they're screwed and glued into that mortise. If you got somebody who's going to really lean out on your bars, and I've got a bar right here, we'll see if she wants it to go across the back. That way, they physically can't spread at that point. But I don't think she wants it, because I think she wants to be able to pass through, turn around, and come back. Might end up putting it on temporarily until she can get the strength back. But yeah, it's not bad looking. We painted the bottom. This has just got a sealer coat, and I left it rough. And what I mean by that is I sanded this nice and smooth. Then I sealed it with water-based poly. That, of course, raises all the grain, leaving a rough surface. Rather than sanding back down smooth again, I just buffed it out with some Scotch-Brite. Just a Scotch-Brite pad, and then gave it a second coat of poly. And each time I did that, I painted the poly, let it sit, and then wiped it off before it dried. So that gives me a nice tactile finish. It's not going to be a super waterproof finish, but it's a nice tactile finish. It'll be good enough to wipe it down and clean it. I mean, what more do you really need? It's not for underwater use. And then when we get it in place, the flux I get is actually in the board, the plywood itself. It's why 3/4 would have helped. This is just what we had. But when I get there, what I'll do is I'll run some screws, a line on either side here, and then one line down the middle. Then I physically screw it to her floor. She's got like a covered deck that she's going to do this on, so it's no big deal to do that. Obviously, if you had hardwood floor, that might be a problem, but double sheet of plywood, I guarantee it wouldn't flex. Couldn't move it, but it wouldn't flex. But if you had like carpeted floors and it wasn't hardwood underneath, you could screw straight into the carpet, and then when you're done, unscrew it. Once the carpet fluffs up, you'll never know the difference. Or you could just, just use it. Just use it the way it is. Because when the human's weight is on top of there, it's going to hold that center down. But yeah. It's not like I can give you step-by-step instructions, and it's not like any of these things are ever going to be two of the same. But it's a very simple concept. Those joints, that's the hard part, right? How do you screw and have that support? And by leaving that groove in the top, and you can slip up in, and mortising it at the bottom, you can get it and save yourself. I think the prices they wanted for a true medical one was like $400, $300, something like that. So save yourself some money. She didn't have it, and when she's done with it, I don't know, give it to somebody else who can use it, or take it apart and you still got a bunch of good wood and some stair railings. So if you're building it for yourself or a loved one, good luck on the recovery. We're all pulling for you. Thanks for watching.